Okay, y'all, excuse the darn on attire. It is nighttime over here that I'm recording this video. I didn't jump on it as early as everybody else because it's like I had actual things to do today. And Kamala Harris was never a person that was on the top of my mind. She was never my candidate, so I wasn't feeling the need to jump to the news anyway because I don't give energy like that to people that I don't care. But she was still a major contender who actually qualified for the December debate, so it is still worth mentioning nonetheless. Just wasn't enough for me to be breaking my back to try to get the earliest view for it because, like I said, another one bites at us, another one bites at us, honey. Kamala Harris decided to suspend the campaign, and this actually has me thrown for a loop, honey, because yeah, she wasn't doing the best, but I never seen a candidate that dropped out that actually qualified for a debate because she actually qualified for the December debates. And people was darn going in and talking about it's finally time that she's gone. And I actually want to give a little bit of pushback on this and point out a little bit of misogyny and the issues of a perceivable black woman going for president. Because I seen a lot of people also talking about, well, we should have had Michelle Obama and an Oprah Winfrey ticket, this, that, and the third. And I'm going to go on and show you Kamala Harris is a clear example of why that won't work. Because if they don't even want a light-skinned, racially ambiguous Asian woman who's pretending to be black to even get up in that mug, how in the hell you think two darn gone dark skinned unambiguous darn gone black women going to fare? Once again, you got one that pretended to be black that might got only a quarter black at best in her DNA. She didn't even darn gonna make it through. Yet people talking about Michelle. Like I said, Michelle needs to be somebody's Secretary of Education. I still stick with that. Oprah, honey, Oprah is a good philanthropist, but I can't see her running the darn gone country. Just because she seems like peaceful and surrounded, that does not necessarily mean that she has the intellect to deal with foreign policy and actual economics. Like, just because somebody's a billionaire doesn't necessarily mean that they know how to make other people money as far as day-to-day stuff. Like, an entrepreneur mindset is different from the day-to-day worker. So I don't understand why people think that billionaires, because Tom Steyer also qualified for the debates. He is breaking news that he just made it in, and it's like, okay, what is he going in there for? I understand he got the climate change and the gun controls, but once you get those two things fixed, what else are you good for? What are you good for, Donna? Honey, it's like, what are you good for? You got to have more than just one or two policies. And every one of these candidates, I only hear just two good policies, but when I go on their platforms, it's not even worth making a video of. They're not well rounded on a myriad of issues, which a president, or in this case presidential candidate, should have if you want to be taken seriously for the job. It's like, you can't just be a president that's just going to be a one-trick pony on one issue, because once that one issue is done with, what else are you going to address? None of these other darn candidates really are as diverse. I mean, okay, maybe Bernie. Okay, y'all know how I feel about Bernie. Biden, he's diverse as far as what the establishment is given. Elizabeth Warren, I would say, is tolerable. Andrew Yang, I would prefer. Marion Williamson, sadly, she just ain't getting her just due. But Kamala Harris, once again, it confuses me because she's still qualified nonetheless. And you got people in the race who has not even surpassed. I think Amy Klobuchar just matched her. Out of 6 months, you just match where Kamala Harris been at. Yet ain't nobody asking for her to drop out the race. So I feel like while we are also glad that she's finally done got up out the race, we should also be calling the action why some of these other people are still here that don't got no promising messages. Now, just because you're polling low doesn't mean that you don't have actual decent policies that are worth looking at. Like I said, Marion Williamson is my top vote, and she's unfortunately not even polling at 2%, child. But that's only because we're so corrupt and brainwashed to go for the doggone popularity picks put in front of us. We don't take time to actually look at the candidates' platforms and doggone beat the normal establishment of picking within the system. Y'all darn gonna just go for whoever's just put out on the debate stage and don't take time to do no research. And once again, when it comes to Kamala, yes, she needs to be up out of there. But I think if we're gonna make, because they was doing this slandering of her leading up to it, to her darn gonna calling out. But once again, I feel that's a double standard, because where is the same smoke for Cory Booker? I haven't heard none of these people. I seen the Hill, Politico, and all these people pointing out the flaws in Kamala Harris, and I'm like, well, hell, did we just forget all about Cory Booker, who ain't even got one qualification to even get on the next debate stage, and he's still in there? How come this darn gonna smoke ain't darn gonna for him as well? How come ain't nobody darn gonna mention Amy Klobuchar as just barely made it up in the mug her damn self? I'm waiting. Like I said, can you name one part? Because my thing is this. Number one, you got to have more than just one policy to go in as Percy. But you do need to still be known for at least something. I mean, we know Andrew Yang for the universal basic income. We know Marion Williamson. She ain't in Poland, but we know her for the reparations and for the health care. That's more extensive than Bernie Sanders, might I add you. That's what a lot of people don't know, though. We know Bernie Sanders for, he wrote the damn bill as far as the health care bill to just to fund, affordable health care. Same thing with Elizabeth Warren jumping on to the healthcare, the colleges, but gives a more moderate approach to it. Also, she has a history of going after the big corporations. But when you looked at Kamala, you didn't really see where she was from. And then, of course, her blatant disrespect towards the people that she's pretending to be. I mean, you're trying to disguise yourself as a black woman, as a darn gone a light-skinned, well, in your community, you'll be seen as dark-skinned. So, in her community, you're dark-skinned Asian, but in our community, you're a light-skinned woman. But you didn't have nothing particular to black issues. And this is actually a warning shot to darn gone Joe Biden. That just because darn gone you still deem popular now, when it finally comes time to those polls, he's going to finally get his darn gone wake-up call about annoying darn gone black people. Because once again, if they just quick to get her on out of there, it's only a matter of time. Because Joe Biden, you might deem be popular right now because a lot of older folks don't watch the YouTube videos as much. A lot of people is not put up on game, so they still going by the establishment focus of, okay, well, he was Obama's darn gone VP. That's let's just keep it real. That's why he's darn gone the front runner, because a lot of people still go by the identity politics. And they view him as just name recordability. But you can't name one decent policy that darn gone Biden is proposing over anybody else. I know darn gone Marion Williamson got a plan. Andrew Yang. But when you get the Amy Klobuchar, when you get the Tom Steyer, well, actually Tom Steyer got the gun bill and the health, talking about the global crisis with the earth and all of that. But when you think of Biden, what is he actually proposed that's unique? And what does he stand for overall? I mean, is it worth me even doing a video on him to even see what his platform looking like? Because it seemed like it would be the same old. And people is tired of the darn old same old shit. And Obama's darn old friend now about to get in the damn race and run. And what's going to happen when he makes it on the debate stage? There goes your popularity by association to darn gone Obama. You have Obama darn gone getting his friend up in the race. Done said some darn gone stuff in the media that actually favors Andrew Yang. So that's two darn gone people right there. He done seem more favorable than darn gone you. So what happens when your older voters who are not, up on YouTube become more aware of that situation? And then you start to see those numbers slip. Because once again, we seen that Elizabeth Warren was high one day, and then she just slipped all the way down by 50%. So those polls ain't always reliable. You up there now, but where you going to be within the next darn gone month or two? Because ain't nobody seen it for darn gone Kamala Harris to be darn gone out this early. Why it's still doggone 9 to 10 people up in this bitch running. Honey, we knew that she wasn't going to ever make the doggone pick just by her portraying that as a doggone black woman. Realistically, she would have really done more better off under the Asian aesthetic. But she wanted to pretend to be a woman of color. But then you didn't want to speak of doggone black folks' issues. That's what really done you in. You didn't speak on no specific doggone criminal. I mean, well, granted, you did have the criminal justice reform. I will give you that to a certain extent. I ain't going to take that from you. But you wasn't real vocal about it. You kept that behind. But then again, Cory Booker also signed on to it as well, though. So you can't really share a complete thing. Complete. What's the word I'm looking for? She can't get complete credit for that. That's something that her and Cory Booker shared under the Jay-Z initiative of criminal justice reform. Eliminating the cash bail system, doing away with the cash bail altogether, and turning that over. Pretty commendable. But once everybody else jumped up, what else now you have to offer? Because not all black people are dealing with the criminal justice. A good amount of us are subject to it. But what about the ones who are not subject to it? Okay, a little tax credit for anybody who makes under $100,000. Okay, but what about the ones who make a little bit over $100,000? You ain't said nothing that really struck to economic doggone restitution to all black people. But when you listen to Andrew Yang with the UBI actually affects all brackets of black people. When you hear about reparations for black descendants of slaves, that represents all black people, black American people. But when we hear about stuff like criminal justice reform, funding HBCUs, that's nice for somebody who's already going to college. But what about the college graduate? So when I hear HBCU funding, we're looking like, okay, what about the doggone debt forgiveness? So that what made a lot of people go to not Marion Williamson, but Elizabeth Warren quicker than your ass. Hell, it's a shame that a doggone false Native American was speaking more blacker than doggone 2 actual black people. Well, a quarter black and a half, 60% black doggone American. But that's it, y'all. Like I said, another one doggone bites the dust. I'm not doggone surprised. I'm just surprised that she got out this early. Like I said, we knew she wasn't going to ultimately get the pick, but the fact that she got kicked out as early as she did is quite puzzling. It only gives me hope maybe we can get Joe Biden up out of there. If we can get Joe Biden up out of there by New Year, if somehow those polls can change for the worse and his funds dwindle down as quick as Kamala Harris's, honey, then it will finally look more favorable. I would deal with Bernie Sanders in a doggone race, but if we can just get rid of Biden and see how the doggone match will fare out, I would think that would make for an interesting debate, honey. Just let everybody else up in there. If we're any doggone hope, doggone Bernie would get on out of there as well, but unfortunately, I don't see that happening short of him having another heart attack, and I ain't gonna wish no ill will upon him, honey, but yeah, that's it, y'all, in a nutshell. That's my little 2 cents on that. Like I said, going in as blackface did not work for her. She would have been better off going in under the Asian doggone woman ticket, in my doggone opinion. And since she was on that doggone brown skin aesthetic as opposed to the black aesthetic, talking about doggone hot sauce on your greens and shit. Yet when we ask you specifically about black policies, you was doggone getting the attitude, and I understand why so many people had to doggone come out with the "I told you so" videos, and you deserve every bit of it, Kamala. You brought this shit nothing but upon yourself. You brought it upon yourself. I don't feel the least bit sad for you. Like I said, it's unfortunate that she got out this early, when she was clearly more qualified than some of the other people that are up here, like these doggone, there's another billionaire that just entered the damn race, and it's like, well, goddamn, who is you? So it's like, clearly she is more qualified than these folks. I give her that. When you put up against the Blumenbergs, the Styles, and all of them, and even, it's like, who is you, honey? And then Obama's friend coming out of nowhere, it's like, really, honey? That's why it confused me that she got out so early as she darn gone did. It's like, well, hell, your money couldn't have been darn gone dwindling down that damn low. You got candidates that darn gone barely pulling 300,000, still able to keep they darn gone shit. But then again, when you unrelatable to the people, it this is what happens when you depend solely on that establishment darn gone money. But yeah, that's it, y'all. Y'all leave y'all thoughts down below on this. We ain't gonna waste not another time on her. We're gonna pay attention to some candidates that still have a chance. Unfortunately, I don't think Tulsi and Andrew are neck and neck for trying to get up in there. Hopefully they will. They got another, what's the cutoff date for the debate stage? They got like another week, because I know the debate stage is on the 20th. So is the cutoff date to qualify is like the 10th or whatever? I don't know how that works. I know you can't just enter the last minute, because they got to have the stage and stuff set up, so many, days and stuff in advance, the mics and stuff, because y'all see how the first debates went. They didn't do that mic check correctly, and we kept hearing feedback and shit in the background. People's mics was acting up, and so they got to have those stuff prepped days in advance. So I think the cutoff, they got Andrew Yang and Tulsi Gabbard got another week to go. So we'll see how that fare. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and do part 2 of the Tulsi Gabbard 7-part series. So look out for that. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all soon with more videos. Mwah. Only 2 agents left in the darn gone race. Tulsi Gabbard and Andrew Yang. Miss darn gone Kamala Green Bean Harris Honey. Miss darn gone West Indian Oxtail Ham Hock Neck Bones Hot Sauce in the Bag has left the building, bitch.